Hello, welcome to the Omnism Spiritual Channel. And I've been contemplating on death lately. You know, we see it as such a finality. It's the end of the road for the physical body. No longer are we in the physical plane. That instant chase of the physical world. And I'm 32 years old. People are more and more starting to die around me. And it's heavy. It is heavy. And it's just like a manifestation or a prayer in our lives. We wish them well on their journey, on their energy journey, right? Their transformation from the physical to the pure energy. We wish them well. We manifest that peace for them. You know, the Tibetan Book of the Dead says the soul goes through a journey for 41 days. You know, and progressively it detaches more and more from the physical world. It's still such a finite for the physical, you know, to us. We mourn the dead. We miss them, right? We miss that new adventure together. That my physical and your physical can do something together and create energy out of it. We miss that. We mourn. And that's okay. That's okay too. You know, it's part of life is the death, is having those around us die. It's part of it. It's part of the beauty. It's part of the joy, right? If it wasn't for that, would we appreciate the physical so much? Or are we still questioning whether we appreciate the physical? That's a question I want you to ask yourself today. You know, leave a comment. Are we mourning the dead for unleft said things? You know, because in itself that is an obstacle we need to face before we can even manifestation peace for that soul, right? We're putting the projection back on ourselves, the impossible, if you will. Is not the thought thinking at the time there was so much more left unsaid, still the manifestation of wishing them peace? That was a mouthful. Let me try to say that again in a different context. By us thinking the simple thought, I wish I would have said more, is that not in itself the manifestation? Is that not in itself the fact that you are saying more? Your energy is communicating with the soul, with the spirit, with the departed. The Tibetan Book of the Dead teaches us that through positive intent, we're able to send the soul on its way into the nirvana, into the afterlife, into the spiritual realm. And there's a 41-day borrow that they must pass through. Are we questioning whether they knew how we felt? Well, does a soul of infinite energy understand a being in the physical realm's limited potential of energy? I would say so. In other words, what makes you think a soul that has now become nothing but pure energy understand your physical sense? Yes, I would imagine that as little energy as we have in the physical realm, that a soul living in the pure energy realm is able to almost read your mind, right? The intent, the manifestation, right? Did they know how I felt about them? 100%, without a doubt. And yet that is still the self reflecting upon itself. That is still not the intent or the manifestation of wishing that soul peace. Right? We're still selfish with it. We're still within ourselves, within the first person. Do they know how I felt? Of course they do. But, and yet, here's the question we're asking ourselves. Are we manifesting them a journey of peace? They know how you felt. Let's move beyond that. Let's manifest them peace. Let's say, okay, they had a struggle with drug addiction. That's pretty common, especially in our culture and society here in the United States. We look beyond that drug addiction, that physical limitation that this society, this culture placed on them. That's not who they were. That's a small, brief segment of what made them them. We say, okay, we understand your struggle. We understand your grief. We understand the pain you were in to cause you to do these actions. Nonetheless, your overall soul was a peace, a loving dwelling. We manifest you peace in this afterlife. We set you free. You know, something like that is truly manifesting the peace for the dead. Do we know the limitations they had physically? Maybe their body was in pain. You know, perhaps they were limited by a disability, a wheelchair, agonizing arthritis, you know, a joint that never healed properly. Are we manifesting them, you know, all that freedom in the afterlife? Are we saying, hey, we understand the physical limitations you had in this realm? We understand the pain you were going through. We manifest you peace and love in the next realm. To truly be set free from all your physical limitations. No more pain. Death. What a journey. What an experience. Or are we living in ourselves? Are we saying what a coulda, shouldas? Right? Are we pushing their spirit beyond our own limitations? Are we saying we know we had disagreements, we know we had fights, and we're taking that embarrassment we feel and we're projecting it on them? Oh, if this wouldn't have happened, I would have been able to love them more. Do they not know that you love them as much as you know they love you? Or are we still caught up in the woulda, coulda, shouldas? Right? Are we truly manifesting peace for that soul? Or are we bringing it back to the first person, the I's, the I ams, and the sads, right? I mean, how else can I say that? It's about me, right? It's my physical realm. My body mourns for the dead. The dead don't mourn for the dead. The dead are at peace. The dead are at liberty. The dead are at bliss. You know, there is no more pain, no more emotional state, right? They're going through each borrow, understanding more and more about themselves, and however much they grasp in this physical is how much they can transcend into the next realm. You know, did they have a good grasp on who they were? Did they have an understanding of this physical limitation? Did they understand the transcendence that comes next? Right? These are the manifestations we need to have towards our dead, towards our dying. Because in this culture here in the United States, it's a hush-hush society. When someone dies, it's okay. It's not. You're going to go through it. And that's what's okay. To fully feel that pain, to live with it, to embrace it, to dive head first deep into it, is our truest sense of calling, our meaning of humanness. Because if we don't accept that, we lose it. And we lose that person along with it, never to be returned. We might hold a different emotional state the rest of our lives because we didn't take the time to properly mourn, to properly manifest, to properly say goodbye. And that's the thing, it is goodbye, it is forever. That physical body is no longer here. We can no longer hug it. We can no longer kiss it. We can no longer go off on this physical adventure together. We accept those things and we manifest peace for that soul. We say thank you for all of your being, and we still can communicate with the soul. We can still feel the energy, right? The energy never goes away. But are we truly manifesting peace for that energy? Are we welcoming that energy in as an energy being? Or are we trying to lash on to this energy still as a physical? The energy is no longer in the physical plane. Yes, understood that you were once a spiritual being in a physical body. Yes, 100%, of course. The physical limitations trap your energy to this reality, this body, a small fragment of energy. And when you die, that energy is infinite. It goes back to the knowing, back to the source, back to the nirvana, back to God. And it no longer is in this physical body. It is now part of you as it is part of me, and I don't even know your loved one. But if I ask Spirit for wisdom, I'll receive wisdom. If I need companionship, if I need energy, right? It's all energy. No longer in the physical, no longer able to hold and run off on an adventure with. And that brings us to sadness. And that sadness is okay. That sadness, that part of the I, right? The I, when the sadness hits, if it's not a leash towards that energy, wanting them to stay in the physical, if it's a truly feeling within yourself, a feeling of humanness, does that really lash onto that person? Or is that truly the grief speaking? Right? Is that truly not the connection of that energy? Grief is powerful, people. You can go beyond yourself 1,000 times over with grief. Grief might be the most transcending emotion there is. It's final. That physical is no longer here. But the energy is. And the energy is the same as an emotion, that grief, right? That true sadness. We're not talking the woulda, coulda, shouldas. We're talking the uncontrollable power of the finality of death. That resonating emotion that you can't just shake off, that you shouldn't just shake off. Because the more you shake it off, the less power it has. The less you're able to go back to that source. We always tell ourselves, I'll have time to feel this later. Later may never come. The more you push off that feeling, the less powerful it is. And that's a problem in our society, in our culture. We're afraid to feel that power. God forbid we forget we're gods. God forbid, right? No. Feel the power. Go within yourself. Feel the death. Admit the finality of it all. Forgive yourself. Stop with the woulda, coulda, shouldas. Live in that grief. Feel that energy departed from the physical realm. There's more to this than just singing songs at a funeral. There's a whole person that was here in the physical realm that shared physical memories with you. And now they're no longer here. Live in that. Forgive yourself. Forgive them. Come to God.